What we believe here is fantasy. Nothing we see is real. We are traveling now at 17,000 miles an hour, going up to the fantasy of space. The fastest recorded speed that we have been on this world is an SR Blackbird. It travels at speeds of 2,300 miles an hour. It needs a special seat to hold the pilot in place. But we believe that 17,000 miles an hour we have astronauts flying up, breaking up through the low pressure to the high pressure to the no pressure of the vacuum of space, and there's no barrier. A pressurized system with no barrier, and we believe it.
My status is good. John, you were right. This thing can really move. The fuel are go. Power is go at 25 amps.
Roger, understand.
Power set is green.
Roger, understand.
Yeah. Still reading you. You're breaking up a little bit.
Roger. Hold tight. You're about to reach max G's in a few.
Approaching 8 G's. Okay. Okay, we have Seco.
Planes could not reach, and circling leisurely above them or dashing off at speeds the Russians could not match. Yet the Blackbird had shortcomings. It was expensive to operate, costing more than $100,000 per hour flown according to one estimate. Furthermore, an SR-71 required an average of a week of maintenance between each mission because the high-speed flights often caused bits and pieces of the airplane to loosen or come off.
'66, a crucial test flight for the Blackbird SR-71 spy plane is about to run into trouble. On board are pilot Bill Weaver and reconnaissance specialist Jim Zwayer.
Crazy altitude. Copy that.
79,000 feet up, after losing control at Mach 3, the plane starts to disintegrate. At Edwards Air Force Base, Weaver and Zwayer's Blackbird disappears from the tracking radar. But Bill Weaver isn't dead. He had been free-falling from the very edge of space.
I thought I was having a terrible dream, a nightmare, and then I realized I wasn't dreaming, so I must be dead. And then I realized that I'm not dead and somehow I'm out of the airplane.
Weaver doesn't know if his parachute is still attached. Weaver lands in New Mexico, until 800 miles from the base. On the ground, he learns the sad news. His friend Jim has not survived after all. His neck broken. He had died the instant the plane disintegrated.
To find out that he had died, it was really devastating. He was a wonderful guy. I believe he was one of the best.
An investigation found that optimizing the plane's performance had made it less stable. That led to a loss of control, which put the airframe under catastrophic strain. At the base, a call comes through.
So you can see the main gear of in place. Main gear touchdown. Pilot Barry Wilmore deploying the drag chute. Nose gear touchdown. Atlantis now rolling out on runway 33 at Kennedy Space Center. wrapping up a 4,490,138-mile flight to the International Space Station.
Discoveries and races. So that's the story. We have the SR Blackbird 71, amazing plane, developed in the 1960s. And then you have the space shuttle. You have one aerodynamic, slick, fast, can go massive speeds of 2,300 mile an hour. Unbelievable speeds. The pilots are under extreme force at them speeds. But then you have astronauts that are going at speeds of 17,500 mile an hour. Then they're orbiting the magical globe at that speed of 17,000 mile an hour. When did we come to the conclusion? Look at the space shuttle take up. You can see them going up, curving over and going over the Bermuda Triangle and then landing in the ocean. If you actually follow the trail, look at the speed. They're going up at a couple 100 mile an hour at the very most, very slow. Here's the GoPro rocket, an amateur one that hit the dome. That went up to 250,000 feet. That's as far as we can go. Use the common sense. The space fantasy has gone on too long. Now's the time to end this garbage. It's not hard to work out the moon landings were fake. A lot of people waking up on that stuff. But now we have to go to understand that this world is flat. Flat as a pancake. You see too far. A man 6 foot at sea level can only see 3 miles. So when you see farther than that, you join the flat earth community. We can see distances 20 miles easily. I can see it with my own eyes. I see lighthouse past the lighthouse at 14. My own experience. I see the Isle of Man mountains all the way down to the ground at 60 miles. These are proofs to me that the world is flat. Make up your own mind, buy yourself a zoom camera, and you will see the truth. It's just as simple as that, folks. That's the way you become a flat earther. And understand that water at rest is flat and level. That's why we use it for building and doing water levels. It's been there since the ancient times, and the ancient people all knew that this world was flat. So let's not get things together now. Let's start thinking. We gotta understand that. Why are they lying? Money? $60 million a day, NASA alone? There's a lot of money involved. But what's the real reason? This thing needs to come out. People need to get on board in this world with everything that's going on. We can understand that this is important. And what's important? Our Creator. If we know we're in an intelligently designed system with a dome, the sun and the moon and the stars are close. We know God is close. The Creator is close. We need to get back to basics. Our eyes are amazing. The way our eyes work, we cannot see too far. We can only see a certain distance. We need a lot of light to push through. It's just like a swimming pool. We can't see the far side because of that atmosphere. The humidity of the water will block it. The same as with our atmosphere. That's why we have an optical horizon, not a physical horizon. Sometimes we see the bottom of the lighthouse, sometimes we don't. Sometimes the waves at the bottom, if it's choppy, will take out the whole bottom of the lighthouse. Sometimes we can see all the way down to the ground, way in front of the lighthouse. This is the way our vision works. It's basic science. We need to get back to this common sense reality that we live in. How can we see objects 245 miles away, like France, the mountains, should be 2 miles below the curvature of the Earth? We see too far, period. That's enough. If you research it, you will see the truth. And that's all. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Zoom camera, and you cannot lie to yourself. People lie. Man lie. God does not lie, and trust yourself and trust God within you to tell you the truth.